Do not adjust your digital device. What you are about to see and hear may shock and appall you. Join our hosts as they encounter countless thrills, spills, chills, and hilarity as they explore the very weirdest in pop culture. The following media is so strange, so beyond the scope of what is normal, it will make you ask the question, why does this exist? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Why Does This Exist? I am Chris.
And I'm Rob.
And we are back from quite a break. We needed to sort out our calendars and also just what the schedule is going to be for the next couple of months. I think we are booked out until October with lots and lots of interesting topics to discuss with you beautiful people out there and the ugly people too. Everybody, each and every one of you will be getting lots of new things and episodes, and there will be much rejoicing. Yay. All right. Well, if you know what we are Why Does This Exist? We are a podcast that talks about the very weirdest in pop culture, whether it's a video game, a movie, a TV show, a board game, or some very strange and unusual product that exists for no particular reason. For example, I was looking for some off-Broadway shows to take the missus to for her birthday, which is coming up. I found some that seemed okay, others that were questionable. There was a Seinfeld musical called Singfeld.
Oh, God.
Why? Why would anyone make this? I have no idea. Is it any good? Probably not, but maybe it's decent enough where it's been running for some amount of time. Or maybe the venue owner lost a bet. I don't know. But that exists. I don't know why. And perhaps if people want to donate to our Patreon or buy us a coffee or any of those things where they want to give us money, then perhaps we will go to the show and we'll review it and we'll look at it. I believe tickets are starting at like $60 to $75 a pop or something like that. Not to mention the bastards maintenance fees and their inconvenience fees that they tack on. So just give or take, give us about $200 so that Rob and I can both go see the show and then we can come back and review it. If you don't want to do that, then I guess tough shit and you'll never know, or you'll just have to spend the money yourself. So subject yourself to that torture. You could support us in various ways. They're all going to be in the descriptions. I'm not going to bother you with any of that stuff. Plus, none of you listen anyway, so I'm not going to waste my breath. That's the news. Here's the weather. You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge from a ragtag group of rogues, so let's get on with the goddamn show. Today, we are talking about Kingdom Hearts. It is a video game that was meant to warm your hearts and, I guess, remove them from some people because they're the heartless. And then there's the nobodies, and then there's other things. There's a lot to unpack with this universe. It started off pretty cool, and honestly, it's become kind of a clusterfuck. I don't really understand what's going on. It seems like it's a franchise where like everybody was on board, and then about 20 years later, Square Enix is trying to make a Final Fantasy game, and they realize that they still own the license on the Disney IP. So they're like, well, shit, we've got to do something with this. Let's just shove a bunch of Disney things that has nothing to do with anything in there, and we'll just call it a game.
Well, I mean, that was always kind of the whole, thing, the whole game.
No, but the first two are great. There's like purpose to them. They follow one after another. The story kind of makes sense, except for the nobodies thing, which is a little weird, but it's fine. And then it gets all kinds of convoluted. There's like 20 games in this series for people who don't know this. The Angry Video Game Nerd covered this years ago on a Chronologically Confused series. Is Chronologically Confused about Kingdom Hearts. we won't get into too much about that. So if you want to like get like a deeper dive on that, then like go right ahead and watch that if you haven't already. It's well worth the 10 minutes. But why don't you tell the people what exactly Kingdom Hearts is? Since
Well,
I seem to have not been able to do a good job of anything here.
well, Kingdom Hearts was originally the first game in the series. Came out way back in 2002 on the PlayStation 2. And basically, it was a combination between a Final Fantasy esque JRPG and Disney films. Um, and I think basically a lot of it was the director's just like love for Disney films, and he wanted to do like games that were kind of based in that universe. So Square Enix reached out to Disney and collaborated, and lo and behold, Kingdom Hearts was born. And so the basic concept of the game, much like any JRPG, is you start off small in this tiny little village and end up killing God in the end. As is the
Why
plot of
not?
many, as is the plot of many JRPGs. No, but seriously, it basically, it starts off. You play as Sora.
Hell of a
Uh,
god complex to have.
uh, and so it differs from many JRPGs in that it actually
Glenn
has like
Benton would be proud.
has action based combat rather than turn based combat. But still has like spells and magic and like different spells you can do. Plus, like you have like these giant like summons and shit like that. Just basically a Final Fantasy game. And so you play as Sora and you go on this adventure, and the plot is very convoluted and hard to understand, and you really have to play like literally every single game in the series to kind of get an idea of what's going on.
The plot
Um,
gets terrible after the second one. I
well,
mean,
even
even
during the
even the
first two,
first
it's
no,
very
during the
convoluted.
well, the first okay, so the first one is all right because it's like it's weird, but it's contained in its own universe where it makes sense to the context of the universe. They at least write that in. I think the first one was probably the best written one because they knew what they wanted it to be, and it's honestly just the most like it's still like kind of a complicated story, but it's the simplest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Where Sora, Riku, and Kairi, they're on this island. They're dreamers. They want to leave the island one day, just like anyone on their own tropical island would, I guess, want to do. I wouldn't. If I had a tropical island, I would never leave the goddamn island. I would be by myself, and me and the missus just by ourselves doing nothing with not even any natives, just sitting there with whatever it is that we took to the island and having a great time away from all of humanity. And that would be a wonderful day and life for me. But these people choose they think that there's so much more waiting out there for them and they can't wait to realize their dreams. And so then overnight, the Heartless invade, which are the bad guys. They're like being run by some weird organization. We get into that in the second one called Organization 13.
Well, the Heartless are basically like creatures that are born from the darkness of people's hearts,
Correct.
essentially.
And they destroy the island. They have to
But
flee the island. They take Kairi, who she's some redheaded girl that Sora and Riku have like a weird like love triangle thing with. They, but then somehow Sora winds up washed up on a beach or something or Traverse Town with like Donald Duck and Goofy are there and they're looking for Mickey. They bump into each other, and somehow the Heartless has to do with all of this. And you just get like the Keyblade, which is pretty much just a giant key that's supposed to be like a key sword, but it's just a giant key. And you whack all the bad guys with it, and you go to all of these different Disney worlds, and the theme of the whole Kingdom Hearts universe is when you go to the Disney World, your appearance takes an adaptation of that world in some way. And there's also a signature Keyblade for each world which you unlock. You have to unlock the doors of the world, so you have to like
yes,
seal the world in order to in order to like restore the balance and restore the light to the world. So that's all that stuff. And then you meet Final Fantasy characters along the way because their worlds all got like meshed into this thing because of the Heartless and everything. That's the
Yes.
basics. And Maleficent is part of this, but there's also Ansem because
Well, yeah, and a
there's a
lot of
lot
the
of things there's a lot of moving parts to
there's
this
a lot of
stuff.
going on, and a lot of the Disney villains are like associated with the Heartless and are like working with them or controlling them somehow. So basically, that's when you're going through each world, and so like for those who don't know, like every world is based on basically a Disney film. So like you go to like the Little Mermaid world, you go to the Lion King world. They basically have like most of the major Disney films now. There's a in Kingdom Hearts 2, you go to the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which it's just like Port Royal or whatever it's called.
You revisit you revisit it in 3. They go back to the well quite a few times.
Yeah. And so each when you're going through each world, it kind of like follows the storyline of the Disney or film in question rather. Sometimes there's like little deviations, or like you're doing something, or it takes place after the actual events of the movie, and like you're just helping the main characters in a different adventure kind of thing. But
Yep, for the
generally,
most part.
generally it does kind of follow the plot somewhat. Like you're kind of like an interloper in the plot of the Disney film, basically, because the Heartless are there trying to fuck everything up.
Right, and you're
So
just like basically your job like basically it's like if you're a time traveler trying to make sure that the timeline plays out accordingly and you're just
yes.
doing all these like minor little like interferences just to make sure that things go according to plan. Kind of
Mhm.
like what's the name of that movie with Matt Damon? That oh yeah, that really narrows it down, Chris.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The Adjustment Bureau.
Yes, that's the one.
That was
You're
a weird
basically
movie.
it was a cool one though.
Yeah.
I actually we should probably do that one. It was
Yeah,
neat.
that would be a
Uh,
good one to do because it was kind of like came and went and nobody remembers it.
yeah, but it was a good movie, and that's kind of what they want you to do. They want to make sure that you don't remember it. That's their job. So you're basically the Adjustment Bureau for Disney. Um, and like you just want to make sure that the movie happens the way that it's supposed to happen, kind of ish. Um, but that's basically every world in the game. Now the gameplay has always been pretty good. It's just
Yep.
basic hack and slash, do some magic, heal yourself, beat up
There's
the
also
bad guys. It's
obviously
pretty
RPG.
open.
There's RPG elements. You gain experience and kind of level up, and
Right. You
you
also
know,
choose at the very beginning, um, which two abilities you prefer and which one you'd rather do without. So there's like attack, defense, and magic.
hmm
So if you're like more of the wizardry type, then you pick the wand. If you are like more of like if you're more like the action guy, then like you go for the sword. But if you like to have like a good defense, then you pick the shield, and then you pick a secondary, and then the third one just kind of goes by the wayside, and you don't develop it as much. So it's kind of a neat dynamic
hmm
to see, and like, but the game, but like the at least the first game, it like you are kind of supposed to pick the attack one first because Donald is the mage, so his thing is magic, and Goofy is like the defense guy, so like he had all of his weapons are big shields.
yeah.
So like it like kind of subtly hints that you're supposed to pick the sword as the primary, but like you can do whatever you want. It
Well,
doesn't change the outcome of the game.
the sword is really the best like for beginners because it's the most balanced. So if
Yeah.
you really want to learn how to like play the game, you pick the sword so that way because it's really you don't have to worry about much except for attacking.
Well, also
Um,
the sword, like if after a while you just level it up to a point where like the game is very very easy because you're doing
yeah,
so much damage.
yeah, and you know, sometimes though, like for more advanced players, it is good to pick the spells because, uh, for like different abilities like healing and shit like that. Because Donald is the worst at healing. He
Oh,
needs a
he's
lot.
terrible. I was gonna say the AI of like Donald and Goofy is like atrocious. They're okay when it comes to like some of the battle stuff,
When they're
Like
just like
Goofy,
beating up the enemies, it's fine. But like when they actually need them to do something useful, they are like they're like idiots.
yeah, no, you need to be the one to heal yourself. So the best combination is usually like the sword is the primary and the wand is the secondary.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Just to like, but you don't really need the shield as much. Or like you don't really need to be like the defense guy as much. You can get all of the different equipments and like just like strap like some defense points to yourself and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or you kind of just like heal a bunch. Like you just need to heal as much as you possibly can, so that you could get through things. But it's pretty easy, and it's pretty easy to like replenish your like magic and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's the first one. I mean, you're trying to find like the main thing is you're trying to find Mickey and
Well,
like
Sora is trying to find
you
Riku and
all.
Kairi, who got
Yes,
disappeared when the Heartless attacked the island, and Donald and Goofy are trying to find Mickey. So they all kind of just team up to find who they're looking for, basically.
right. And Riku is also looking for Kairi,
Yes.
and Riku ends up instead of meeting Mickey and Donald like Sora does and joining their quest, he gets abducted by Maleficent and the bad guys, and he gets sucked into the dark. He gets sucked into the opposite end, so he's like unwittingly carrying the bidding of the bad guys. Now Riku is like kind of the jealous type, so they sense that darkness within him, so they can
Mhm.
control him a little bit. And he gets a sweet Keyblade of his own and a really, really, really kick-ass outfit in the first one. Um, and he's suddenly jacked out of nowhere because bad guys just get really, really buff when they turn evil. I don't know why. I guess it's a prerequisite. Like you just instantly get muscles. And really great hair. Or no hair.
Anime hair.
I guess if you become evil, you either lose all of your hair or you grow or your hair grows like a foot in length instantly. I'm not really sure what the rules are, but in this universe, that seems to happen. But you fight all these like Disney villains, and then you also like will fight Final Fantasy ish looking villains.
Well, you also fight literal Final Fantasy
Yes,
characters.
you
So you
do
meet,
also
you know,
fight Final Fantasy characters because you do fight
specifically,
Sephiroth as a like hidden boss.
yeah, specifically Final Fantasy 7 characters.
Yes,
You
seven
meet
and eight.
Cloud. You meet yeah 7 and 8. You meet Aerith, Cloud, uh, Sephiroth, as you said, is a hidden boss
Well, you
who
have to
is
fight Cloud.
incredibly. Yeah, Cloud is also a boss, I believe.
Yes, in the Olympus Coliseum.
Yeah, which is also
So
where you fight Sephiroth.
yeah,
And Sephiroth and
no.
Cloud.
You fight Sephiroth in the Peter Pan level.
I think you
Because
also
he
fight him in the
flies.
Olympus Coliseum.
Oh, you're right. I think you do in the very hard stage, in
Yeah.
like the hardest difficulty. He's a bastard,
Yeah, and
Sephiroth.
he has like 18 fucking health bars, and he's incredibly hard to beat because he does an obscene amount of damage and has like a lot of
Yes.
health.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a dick.
but like Cloud and Sephiroth are also kind of like having their own little storyline that like is really hard to explain too. It's like I don't. It's very strange because like they're kind of like on their own little thing, like somehow involved with the Heartless, and it's like I said, it's very convoluted. The story. It's you're trying to mix like JRPG elements with Disney, and it's like it like gets very confusing.
Yeah, and the whole point of the Heartless is they're just like they're trying to consume every world. They're trying to consume every world to darkness and turn everything evil and just
Yeah,
to
they're basically
dark.
like the
They're
embodiment of evil. They're just like pure like evilness coming.
pretty stupid though.
Yeah, well, they're not like they're kind of mindless. That's why like the
Yes.
majority of them. The you later find out that there's also the nobodies who are like I guess
Right.
heartless.
This comes to the second one.
Yeah, the nobodies are kind of like heartless that it's very hard to explain. That
So
basically like
when
they're like
you
they had basically had strong hearts, so like when they became heartless they kept their human form kind of, and like or especially like the members of Organization 13, which are like the secret bad guy organization throughout all the games.
there's always a secret bad guy organization, isn't there?
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's a weird explanation. I was watching the Chronologically Confused yesterday, and I think it's when when someone with a strong heart like dies or loses their heart, basically,
Yeah.
they create a nobody, which is like an alternate version of them, and the nobody then has their life or whatever. So you now create two, like a second version of yourself, kind of like a backup of you, right? I guess that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So isn't
It's not, it doesn't really make any sense at all, but it
no,
just
and
happens because, like, in the first game, Sora loses his heart, I think, to try to save Riku or Kairi. I forget what it is.
it's to save Kyrie, and then
Yes.
so he ends up getting stabbed by the Keyblade, and that like restores Kyrie's heart, and then Sora ends up getting like restored by like basically like the light in Kyrie's heart. It's very like again, it's like all like fucking hippy dippy whoopy fucking weirdo like vibe shit,
Yeah.
and
Very, very anime, like
yes,
on
yeah,
very on
absolutely,
brand for anime
yes,
things.
yeah.
Honestly,
Uh,
I'm surprised they never made this into an anime.
yeah, that actually, I'm kind of surprised too because it. I mean, maybe they can't. It'd be really hard with the to get the rights from Disney probably to do that. But
I
I would imagine Disney would just make it. So
I
I don't
that's
know.
what I was gonna say. Like, why
I have
would
a
they need
feeling.
to get the rights? Why wouldn't Disney just do it?
I kind of have the feeling that Disney don't really care about Kingdom Hearts that much. They like
They
it's like, oh
probably
yeah,
don't.
we'll just rent our IP out to this video game company. It'll never gain popularity, and it's like Meanwhile, it's like
Maybe.
one of the biggest games ever on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, good. I mean, it was a good bet for whoever it is decided to like go with that.
Yeah,
But yeah, the nobody thing is very weird. But like, what in the first game when that happens, the nobody is created. You see, they explain it, but not in Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2, so like this is where the chronological confusion comes in, is
yeah,
like between Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3, there is a bunch of games. Well, there's
a
one
lot.
game in between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 that I think came out for the DS, which I think is called Chain of Memories. Yes, Chain
Yes.
of Memories. And in Chain of Memories, it explains the nobody thing, and you play as Roxas, who is Sora's nobody. Then in Kingdom Hearts 2, you just start as Roxas. You're just Roxas for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
like there's no explanation. You just are a new character, and you're like, and so like if you're just playing one and then two, you're just like, oh, okay, I guess this is just a new character who's gonna find like Mickey, who's going to find Goofy
Well,
and Donald, and
and
then it'll
it's
just be that. But then it's like, wait, why is Sora on the cover of this? Well, this doesn't really
exactly
make sense. So
that
you
was
don't
the thing that
actually, you
I
don't
was gonna
get to
say,
Sora until like 2 to 3 hours into the freaking game.
and that pissed me off so much. I'm like, fucking like, I remember when I got Kingdom Hearts 2, and like, and they did not fucking like market it that you're playing as Roxas for that long.
No,
Like they just
it
like
was never in the commercial even
no,
or
it was like always like, oh,
advertised.
you're gonna play as Sora again. Like, so I'm like, oh, cool. So I like bought Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm like playing as Roxas, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe it's just like this is like a quick little like flashback to like do like the tutorial basically for new players or whatever. And then it's like hours and hours later, and you're still playing as Roxas. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I
Yeah,
want to play
and
as Sora.
yeah,
Like,
and you're
what
just like, who is this loser?
yeah. Well, it turns out Roxas is technically Sora because Roxas is Sora's nobody. So it's like inadvertently you are kind of playing as Sora. It's like a clone of Sora, like an
Yeah,
evil clone of Sora.
it's not exactly a bait and switch. Well, Roxas isn't an evil clone.
Well, he's I guess because he's a nobody, so it's like
The nobodies are kind. Well,
he's
for the
created
most,
to be evil, but not really. Like I
I
don't know.
I
It's
don't know. They changed their tune. Like the whole organization, like half the organization changes their tune, and they help Sora
yeah,
anyway. But then you find out that there's a second organization, 13, and there's like four different versions of Ansem. So Ansem is the big bad.
yeah,
Um, and Ansem is a nobody of Ansem the Wise, who is some regular guy, I think, or Ansem and like they stole his identity basically, but there's three Ansems from the different time periods, and one of them is bald. See, this is what I'm saying. You either lose all of your hair, or or you just have hair for like eternity, and it's super duper long and like beautiful. Like all the other Ansems have wonderful, luxurious hair, and just I guess the leader Ansem is just this deranged bald man, which tends to happen at the top of most evil organizations anyway, um, real or fictitious. So. Yeah, so basically, Ansem does not want $1 million. Ansem just wants to take over every crevice of the universe just because there's no real reason or motive to it. It's just, I mean, and even if there was, there's like 20 Kingdom Hearts games between 2 and 3.
Let me go through the list. This is the list, all right?
Yes.
So 2002, you have Kingdom Hearts, then Chain of Memories, then Kingdom Hearts 2, then Rechain of Memories, then Coded, then 358/2 Days.
They're not very good with these titles.
No. Then Birth by Sleep, then Recoded.
Yes, re-colon-coded.
Yes. Then Dream Drop Distance, then
Sounds
1.5
like
remix, which is basically
album.
it was just basically a re-release of Kingdom Hearts 1 with extra content for PlayStation 3.
I thought it was Kingdom Hearts with like some chain of. I guess the extra content is like some Chain of Memories catch-up stuff.
Yeah, it was basically like to like kind of like link Chain of Memories together. Then Kingdom Hearts X, then Kingdom Hearts 2.5 remix, which again was like a remake of Kingdom Hearts 2 with extra content that kind of links everything together.
Yes.
Then Unchained/Union X, then 2.8 final chapter prologue, then Kingdom Hearts 3, then Dark Road, then Melody of Memory, and new coming out in 2024 is Missing Link, and then to be announced Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, that's too many.
That's a lot.
And on top of that,
only the people that are like the super fans have played any of the other games in between, and I know that for a fact.
I don't know anybody who maybe played any of them outside of maybe Chain of Memories.
I have one friend who was like a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts who played literally pretty much every single like in between game, well at least most of them. But most of my friends that have played Kingdom Hearts have just played the main series, or maybe like 1.5 remix and 2.5 remix.
Yeah, something like that. But but they don't catch you up. Oh, also, there was a concert one year, and the concert contained additional like plot point footage specifically
everything
for that audience.
Every extra thing they release is canon. So
yes.
There's no like ambiguous canon or like, oh, this is probably not. This is just like some extra thing. No, they're all canon, and they're all very important to the storyline. If you don't play them, you'll be fucking lost. And they kind of gloss over it a little bit in like the main series games. They'll like talk about it or have some flashback or a fucking cutscene to kind of explain something. But like,
I mean, usually
you really want to understand.
Usually, it's a throwaway line where you're like, "What the hell does that have to do with anything?"
Yeah. So you really have to play the games if you really want to understand the actual plot.
Or just don't. I didn't. I don't care. If you don't care about the plot as much, then like,
well, I guess that's the one good thing. That's the one good thing about Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, 1 and 2 is fine. It's when you get to 3 that's a problem, because at least 1 and 2 there's just one in between.
Well, see, I haven't played 3, so I can't speak.
Oh God, 3 is terrible. 3 is awful. I don't know if I've aged out of the game. No, but I don't know but 2 is still fun. 2 is still great.
No, well, that's what I'm gonna say is that
the plot isn't amazing in 2, but like you kind of like still like after a while you could kind of like figure it out. at
Well, and
least.
yeah, that's the thing I was gonna say is like you could cater to the casual player. Like you could just play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and 3 and like basically know
Oh,
what's going on, but
you
like
can't.
not
No, no,
really.
no, no.
But
You
like,
can't play three. You can't play three and
all
know
right,
what's
well, I
going
can't say
on.
for 3. I can't say for 3, but you could definitely play 1 and 2 and basically kind of know what's going on. And maybe there's like a couple of things that are confusing, but you could at least follow it on like a baseline level.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to be one of those people that does like a lore deep dive, that you really have to play all the other extra games in between.
Ugh. So yeah, for when we get to three, so here's the problem. They never like we said, they never bring you up to speed, but they really don't for three. And you would think that if there are like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For like 10-ish for like 10 games, right? 10 games in between this with all of the plot elements. Oh, and the concert, of course, the concert. Um, and all of these very important plot points in this whole thing of the story, you would think that maybe they would give you like, and also not to mention how many years between, more than a full decade, actually almost, yeah, almost 15 years, um, between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. You would think that they would give you that they would open up the game with maybe like a 3 to 5 minute, maybe even a 10 minute. I guess in that case they would need 10 minutes video package just to kind of bring you up to speed and like just break it down on like a high level so that you at least get the gist of what the hell is going on between 2 and 3. But no, they just figure, oh, well, you've played all the games. You went to the concert. You know what's going on. You've kept up with these things all these years. In fact, you replay every game every single year since 2002. You've played all of the games all the time. This is your life. So we don't need to tell you a damn thing. You know what's going on. Here's Kingdom Hearts 3. Not the case. Kingdom Hearts 3, I do not understand anything of the storyline. I'm basically hate playing it at this point. I gave up. I played up until the Pirates of the Caribbean level, and I don't care about this game at all anymore. I don't understand what's going on with the plot. Why are there 3 or 4 Ansems? Why are there 2 Organization 13s? I don't give a shit about the nobodies at all. Roxas and his merry band of morons can just go fuck themselves. I don't care about them at all. They're just a waste of space. Where is the old Traverse Town that I loved? I don't need this giant thing. I also don't want Little Chef from Ratatouille in the game because it's completely useless and the cooking mini game is a pain in the ass. Let me just get the ingredients and give you the food, and they can do the cutscene of him cooking it, and that's fine by me. I'll skip it later. Um, I like. I also don't know anyone who loved the gummy ship thing from the first games. I don't know anyone who was obsessed with customizing the gummy ship.
I
Where
liked it.
like
I thought that was a cool thing, especially for the time period because you didn't have a lot of games that had customization like that.
I know one person who likes the gummy ship, and I don't know anyone else who did. Maybe if you enjoyed the gummy ship, I guess leave a comment and say, "Hey, Chris, the gummy ship was awesome. Go fuck yourself." It, so, like, I don't really care, but there's so many convoluted, annoying plot points that they just gloss over in the third one, where you're just supposed to know, and you're just so confused at the story that like you might as well just skip every cutscene. And like also every cutscene is very very long in like just about all the games, but in 3 particularly they're very long for no reason because nothing happens in these cutscenes. The entire Frozen level is a commercial for Frozen. That's it. There's nothing that really moves the plot along. Oh, also in the first game, all of the Disney princesses in the levels, they're capturing them so they can use their hearts to unlock the darkness. I don't know what that's just what they're doing. Don't ask.
Huh.
I forgot to mention that. But anyway, it does not move anything along. It just replays the Frozen movie, but worse.
Well, yeah.
And it's not fun. I don't want to find Olaf's missing parts. The game is so much filler, and we'll get into that in a second. But there is a shot for shot cutscene of the entire Let It Go song of what she does in the movie, and they just put that in the game. The entire song, the entire sequence, for no reason. Doesn't move the plot. It's not like she's singing the song and they're showing all these other things going on with the main storyline at other points, and the music is just kind of carrying everything in the background. No, it's the exact sequence of her building the stupid castle, and that's it. Like, and then right afterwards, Sora sees it and he goes, "Guys, I don't know what we just saw, but wow." Which to me is just like, I was like, yes, that embodies the entire game. I don't know what I just saw, but wow.
I kind of
Fuck
feel like
this.
too some of like the fucking like the attraction flow attacks. It's like literally just Disney now shilling for their fucking like theme
I
park.
hate those.
basically.
I hate those. There's too many team up moves that don't make any sense. At least
Well,
in
they're
the
all
other
based on
ones.
rides at the fucking Disney World.
Yeah, in Kingdom Hearts 3, like, okay, they didn't have that in like at least Kingdom Hearts 2. They didn't have the attraction ones.
No, they had like big power attacks and like big summons and shit like that, but
Yeah,
not
which
like
that was cool.
these are literally just they're fucking like ride the fucking like splash mount and fucking log into your enemy. Like
Yeah,
basically
why would I want to do that? Why
Yeah.
can't you just give me Mufasa to do a giant roar and kill everyone like in the first one? I'm sorry, that was Simba, but still, why can't you just do that? Instead, like, I get summons and I can't even use them because they're, one, not good, and two, there's way too many random attacks. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, I will say, so Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, they, yes, you follow the plot of the movie, but the world looks like the movie.
Yeah.
And they like the developers paid a lot of attention to detail of each movie and each level, and they really made you feel like you were in the Disney movie. They brought it to life and they brought it into a game form, and they made you feel like you were a part of the story. That was the big draw for a lot of people. Like one of everyone's favorites is Halloween Town, where everyone just gets these Halloween costumes, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to be part of that.
Well, it was also
And
cool, like when you're in like the Little Mermaid world, like Sora becomes a merman, and like
yes,
Donald and Goofy and stuff. Like it was like little cool little nods like that.
yeah, like they really like did something extra. Where like in King and the same thing for Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 has the Pirates of the Caribbean level, and it's really neat and it's pretty cool. I think you go back to Halloween Town in that one for something, but they like continue it and it's really cool. Um I think they do the Christmas thing in the second in Kingdom Hearts 2. So like they do like half the game basically. They do half the movie in one and half the movie in the other, I believe. Um by the time they get to Kingdom Hearts 3, the story is just so confusing that, like I said, just skip the whole game, basically. Just play the beat 'em up thing. It's really easy. And just get through it, and don't even concern yourself with the story because you're gonna hurt yourself. Also, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they just gave everyone like Vicodin or something, but like with the exception of Donald and Goofy, the voice acting is terrible in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, Sora's still voiced by Haley Joel Osment.
I think so, but
He's like
but
fucking like in 30 years old or something, or 35. Like he should be voicing a 15-year-old god, dude. Like
maybe it's a sound alike in the
no,
third
it
one.
is him. I just looked it up. It is him.
It sounds like they put him on Xanax or something. He's like is terrible in the third
I mean, he
one.
probably is on Xanax.
I guess it's just he might be sitting at the desk reading the copy and he's just like, they're paying you, Haley. They're paying you.
Yeah.
Like just whatever he's got to muster himself up on just to like get through it, because this game is brutal. Also, in the other ones, the gameplay flowed really well, and the level design was really neat and fun. This in Kingdom Hearts 3, they are not even like trying to give you a level that even looks like the movie. Like I was excited about the Toy Story level.
Yeah.
And you know where you go? You spend maybe like you spend the first like small moment in Andy's room. You spend the first 5 to 10 minutes in Andy's room meeting
Oh,
Buzz and Woody. That's it. You do,
where?
like do you go where else? What? But it's Toy Story. Do you like? I couldn't wait to go to Al's Toy Barn or Pizza Planet or Sid's place, or even or even Lotso's like or even the daycare center and like mess and like fight Lotso or anything like that. You know where I went?
Where?
I went to I don't even know the name of this fucking toy store. You went to a random toy store
Not
that is
fucking Big Al's toy store
not
or
big,
whatever?
not Al's Toy Barn.
Or Al's Toy Barn? Yeah.
No, you don't. Where do you? I don't even know the name of the store. It's like some like throwaway random department, like big toy store or something. I think it's called like the toy. I think it's called like the toy, like I don't even know what it's called. You like basically just go to like a shopping mall and like that wasn't in any of the movies or like the or the specials or
Yeah.
any of the Toy Story anything. It's like they just shove you just go there and like it has nothing to do with the Toy Story level. They just dropped a random mall there. It looks more like the mall in Dead Rising than it
Oh my
does
god.
anything in Toy Story. You're like you're like controlling this robots. Like you can go in between robots, which is kind of cool, but like it doesn't even feel like you're playing the same game. You're just
Yeah.
like, why? You're like, what is Woody? You're like, what does Toy Story have to do with any of this? You
Well,
don't
that
even
was
fight. You don't even fight a Toy Story bad guy. You end the level by going into the video game section, and they like, and you play you play like whatever the PS2 ish game in that world is because they think that Sora's character is from the video game, but he's clearly not because the character looks totally different. Like
yeah.
it's like you don't even fight a bad guy from Toy Story. You
Well, and
just
that was
fight
that was
you
always
just
the
fight some random heartless that
that
like
was
they just threw together as the boss and it's like what the hell? This is
that was
not
always
the level that I wanted.
that was always the appeal of like the first two games, that you get to play your favorite Disney movie basically,
Right.
and like
Like
it's
you fight
interactive.
Clayton in the
Yes.
Tarzan level.
Yeah,
You
you fight fucking Scar in the Lion King level. You fight fucking the
you fight Ursula in the Little Mermaid
parts
level.
in fucking Alice in Wonderland. Like it's
Yes.
they're the main bad guys. Like the main bad guy of the Disney film is the main bad guy. So like they could have had Zurg. They could have had fucking
I
like
was waiting for Zurg.
fucking
I
Big Al.
figured
Like seriously,
yeah,
Sid.
I
Who
was
knows?
yes, exactly. I was expecting any of those scenarios and who do I get? This I don't even know what it I don't even remember what it was. It was this forgettable boss that like had nothing to do with anything. I didn't even go back to Andy's room because because what's continuity in this? It's like the only levels they did okay was Monsters Inc. was like the only good level in the third game, and good being like better than the shitty levels. The Frozen one was okay until the singing started. Oh, and then they started up again, by the way, for like um what the hell is the other one's name? The meaningless one. Not the Ice Queen, the her stupid sister. The,
Anna.
yeah, the snowman song. They started that up again, and after
Oh.
that, the minute that they started that song and they started showing that sequence, I was like, I'm not watching the plot of the. I'm skipping every cutscene from this point on. I'm like, I'm done with this game. I'm just hate playing it now to get to the Pirates of the Caribbean level. And the Pirates of the Caribbean level was Not very good.
Yeah.
The best part was the ending because you get to fight Davy Jones, an actual bad guy from the actual movie.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, the ship is being held up by the Kraken, so you have to, like, you have to shoot cannons in the tidal wave, in the eye of the storm, to hit the Kraken so that it doesn't break the ship, so that you can go fight Davy Jones. Yeah, and he's like summoning the Kraken tentacles and everything, and it was a cool boss of the level, and I was like, wow, they actually tried here. They actually tried to do a good boss fight. But the rest of the level was crap. You're like searching for stupid like crabs. You're searching for like all of these crabs. You're searching for all of these collectibles. Most of the levels, you're just searching for a bunch of these stupid collectibles that mean nothing. Um, or like there's a Tangled level, which who even likes Tangled? Why would they pick Tangled? Of all the movies that they could pick, they picked stupid Tangled?
They're probably running out of ideas for movies.
They really, I guess they did because they went to the Pirates of the Caribbean well again after they already did that in Kingdom Hearts 2. And who knows how many times they went to these other levels in the other video games.
At least the Pirates of the Caribbean, they do have
Do they even
multiple
go to the
movies they
Disney?
could do because they
Do
had like in Kingdom Hearts 2, the first time you go there, you're fighting Barbossa and the fucking skeleton pirates.
Right. It's the
So,
first one. And
yeah.
in the other one, it's more of at World's End, which
Right.
that's fine. But like it wasn't very good. You're like fighting on a ship, which is kind of cool at one point, but like it's such like it's so useless. Like they make you go on other like vehicles and stuff, and it's cool to test it out, but like they're just doing it just for the sake of adding something to the game because they're kind of like, please keep playing. We need you to keep playing the game. And it's just crap. It's just crap. Like I don't know why they did this with Kingdom Hearts 3, but like I said, it feels like so much time passed by that they were like, "Oh shit, we still have the licensing. We need to do the third one." And I guess they're doing it with the fourth one, or maybe I aged out, but like the level design, if you play 1 and 2 and then you play 3, you can notice the obvious like difference. It's not good. Also, you go back to the Hercules stage for no reason in the Kingdom Hearts 3, but you don't go to the Olympus Coliseum like you do in the other two, which I was looking forward to. I was like, "Oh, who am I going to fight in the Olympus Coliseum?" There is no Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
You just go through Thebes for no reason. You surf through Thebes as it's getting burnt down by the Titans. And then you have to like climb Mount Olympus to get to the Titans. So at least there's that, and you fight the Titans, and they're a boss. So at least the boss is a movie, is something from the movie. That's good. But why do I have to go to Thebes?
Yeah.
I don't care about Thebes. There's nothing to do in Thebes. Just show me Thebes. Let me save somebody. And then show me the Titans. And then, like, I don't need to surf through Thebes for 45 damn minutes. They also made every level very, very long for no reason. They could have cut an hour from each level and saved everyone the trouble. Because there's a lot of meaningless running around to get to nowhere because there's no meaningful cutscene. It's not even good. And the plot that does develop, who the hell cares because it's confusing anyway. They don't bring you up to speed. They're just throwing things at the wall and very poorly. I mean, and while trying to sell you Frozen and everything Frozen, by the way.
Well, that's because that was probably
maybe it was probably in the terms of agreement.
Were popular when it was in development, and that was probably like Frozen 2 at that point was probably coming out. So it's like, oh, what movies is Disney gonna force us to shill for them so that way they could fucking make a profit on their own end?
Sure, but this game was such a disappointment. Honestly, after I beat the Pirates of the Caribbean stage, I've just checked out. I don't even think that I'm gonna go back and finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll hate finish it, but I'm not getting into I'm skipping it. If I did that, I'm skipping every cutscene. I don't care what's happening in this game. And they made the game so long that like the Kingdom of like I'm halfway I think I'm only like halfway or 2/3 done with the game, and I've already put in like 40 hours.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not gonna do the sunk cost fallacy thing because it's like this is just not worth finishing.
Well, and I think part of that is because
Like I
most
don't care what
modern games.
happens. I don't care what happens to Sora.
Well, I think the
Honestly,
part of it is that
I hope Sora gets a terminal illness so that way there isn't a Kingdom Hearts 4. But but there will be. So maybe Kingdom Hearts 4 can be Roxas, and then Roxas can get a terminal illness, and we don't have to have any more Kingdom Hearts games.
well,
Maybe Mickey just like decides that that hold that just everyone loving everyone is good enough to beat the Heartless on its own all the time, and they just don't bother. Or maybe Disney, Goofy, and Donald just look at each other and they look at the Final Fantasy people and they just say, "You guys can go fuck yourselves. We're going back to the Magic Kingdom." And Kingdom Hearts just ends that way. Like Organization 13 just takes out that they just take over the universes, and Mickey just kind of like separates the universes again because because like Walt Disney comes back from the dead and he just like draws them out of this universe, and that's how the game ends. It's just Final Fantasy gets screwed over, and Walt Disney just like he just erases Disney from this universe and just pops it back into its own universe. But he leaves Oswald the Lucky Rabbit because fuck him. That's how Kingdom Hearts should end.
Well, I guess
I'm
we'll
done
see
with
when
this franchise.
Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, which has
Yes.
been announced.
Yes, it has.
I think a lot of it, a big problem is that most games now are at least 40 hours. So maybe they felt like the developers felt obligated to make a game that was that long, and so added a lot of filler to make it that long. And Kingdom Hearts, I think, is not a game that is conducive to being like a super long game. Like it doesn't have to be.
You
Like
could beat the first one in like 8 to 12 hours.
yeah, I mean yeah, if you're just playing the main there's enough extra content to keep you playing it for longer than that. But if you just want to play the game and for the story and beat it, like it doesn't take super long. And I think that's kind of the problem. I think there are certain games that don't have to be like more than 12 to 20 hours long, but like developers are now obligated to make super long games because otherwise people get pissed off and like, oh, it's not long enough, or whatever.
I mean, it's
They feel
also
like they're not getting their money worth or whatever.
well, it's also the gaming industry just like making things more and more expensive, like everything else,
Yeah.
where it's like you'd have to justify that with the technology and the manpower used to make these games because games are not cheap to make. Like to produce a game, a lot like some of them, they get like Hollywood blockbuster budgets now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
What GTA 6 is looking like it's going to be the most expensive game ever produced. I believe
I'm sure.
it's already cost over $1 billion to
Oh
make.
my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's going to be like the in order to get the return on investment, they're either going to have to jack up the price, which I'm sure it's going to be at least $70,
Probably.
and they're going to have to hope that like it's really good and millions of people buy it, which I'm sure they will because everybody buys Grand Theft Auto. Everyone's like obsessed with Grand Theft Auto. So
Yeah, but like this is but the thing with Kingdom Hearts, and I think I think Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom suffers on this too. This is what I call the GTA problem. So GTA, and I'm glad that you had used GTA as an example. The GTA problem is basically when GTA 3 came out, they like they completely flip the gaming world on its head of what you could do, of how big of a map you can have, and an open world plan. So you could do whatever you want whenever you want within certain as long as certain conditions are met. Like you might have to do certain missions to unlock the rest of the world, but you can do the missions that you're allowed to do in any order, whenever you want, wherever you want. It does like whenever you want, and you could drive around as much as you can and do all kinds of like crazy things. and that's really cool. Like, you're not confined to anything. You could play the game for 50 hours and never get off the first island because you're having too much fun blowing stuff up. Um, but then Vice City comes along, and Vice City has a bigger world, which is still big enough for what it was. You could still do the whole thing fairly quickly and still have a lot to do. GTA 4 does the same thing.
Mhm.
Bigger map, more capacity, got to push the graphics of the console, got to push the console to the limits. Here's what we can do, innovation, please the shareholders, whatever. You get to GTA 5, you get to San Andreas and so forth and so on. And the map is always bigger. And then Rockstar starts doing that with all of its other games. So like there's Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Revolver, and those maps get bigger and they're bigger. And then they're comparing it to the GTA games. Then then also Rockstar, Batman, the Arkham franchise starts doing something similar with the Gotham City map and the Arkham Asylum map and the Arkham City map and etc. Um, so, but every map is incrementally larger by like 2x to 5x of whatever the first one was.
See, I don't think that
And then wait, but then they get there with like, but then we get to Zelda and Breath of the Wild, and I think Breath of the Wild's map is like the perfect size for what that game is. Where Tears of the Kingdom, the map is just too damn big. You
See,
do
I'm gonna
not
disagree
need
with you.
you don't need that big of a world to
I'm
do
gonna disagree
everything in
with
the
you.
game.
I'm gonna
Really,
disagree with you because it doesn't. The size of the world doesn't matter. It's how much they put into it that matters. Like you
that's
could
what
have
I
a.
mean. The world
Well,
is huge, but
there's
there's
two
not
things.
enough to do. There's
There's
not like there are things
the
to do, but
size of the world and
it's so spaced out that
how
you're
good
spending
the
most of the
travel
time.
system is.
But you're spending, but you spend most of the game walking or trying to find something,
Not necessarily.
even when you have enough of the enough shrines and enough of the hubs there where you can at least go to where you need to go. Like if you're doing a side quest sometimes, or if you're trying to find like certain things, like just an example, like the Poe statues or something,
Yeah.
or like you're trying to farm Lionel or something, you're like really like it's taking a minute. It takes too long to do certain things where it's
That
like I
like
don't need to do that. Like
again,
the depths should not be that big.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that because Nintendo's whole point with the building system was intended so you make vehicles that are fast. And if you use a fast vehicle, especially like if you use something that could fly, you could get to places fairly quickly.
I
Without
understand that, but why would you? But like, why need to even put that in there?
because they want you to use the building system.
But what if you don't want to?
Well, that's the whole point of the game. That you're like not using a major mechanic of the game. That's so like like it's like if you're playing Red Dead Redemption and you say, "Oh, I don't like horses. I don't want to ride a horse." Well, that's like literally a major component of the game. It's a game that's based in the Old West that you're a cowboy. You have to ride
No,
a horse.
but you don't even really ride a horse much in like in Tears of the Kingdom. In Breath of the Wild, yeah, you
No, no, no.
do.
Well,
But
yeah, you
like,
can, but you can ride the
but
horse and. But what I'm
no,
trying to say is in
I
Tears
know
of the
you
Kingdom,
can. I know you can in Tears of the Kingdom,
in
but
Tears
like
of the Kingdom,
the
the big feature is the building mechanic and like building vehicles
no,
specifically.
I understand that, but like why can't I just summon a horse?
Well, you
Like
can though.
no, but not anytime I want.
Yeah, you can.
I have to go to the stable.
No, if you there's I don't I mean in Breath of the Wild they had it, and I'm pretty sure they have it in Tears of the
No,
Kingdom. If you go
In Breath of the Wild they did have it and I loved that. In like Tears of the Kingdom, I don't think you do. Or maybe I haven't figured out how to do it.
I think they have like the armor or whatever, the horse armor that allows you to like teleport the horse.
You have to equip armor? See, that's stupid. Why do you need to get the horse armor to do this?
Well, because
It
it's
should
an
just
upgrade. It's
be
supposed to make you like feel like you're progressing in the game. It's like, oh, okay, now it's easier to get the horse wherever
no,
you
but
are.
why? But you should just you should then that should be a different thing. Like you should just like similar to like how you could just whistle in Ocarina of Time and you could just summon the horse basically, or like the horse will come running. Why can't you
Well, you
just do
can do
that?
that, and you can do that in Tears of the Kingdom.
No,
You
but
could
you
still
need
whistle and summon the horse. It's just you
no.
have to be within range.
You have to be within range, and you have to have the stupid armor on.
No,
Why?
not necessarily. If you could just whistle and summon the horse, and if you're in range, it'll come. The armor just allows you to whistle wherever you are in the world, and the horse will teleport to you.
But why do I need the armor for that? Why can't I just unlock a whistle?
Because they're trying to make it more. You do have the whistle. That's what I'm trying to say. You have the whistle from the start. As
No,
long as you're
no,
within range of the horse, you could whistle, and the horse will come running to you.
no. But I'm saying, why can't the whistle just summon the damn horse regardless? Why
Because they're
can't I
trying to
just
make it
up?
more. They're trying to make it more realistic and more immersive.
I
Like you can
understand
just
that, but why
try
do I
not
have to
you can't just
switch
whistle wherever
armor?
you want in the world, and then a horse will come running. That's the whole
Right,
like.
but why do I need to switch armor just to? Why do I have to go get armor and switch armor? There's already enough armor that I'm like
You
need
don't
to get. I
you
don't.
don't
I
have to
know I
do
don't.
that.
No, I know I don't have to, and I know they want me to use the building system, but like, if you needed to put in all this stuff just so that people would explore the map, then why don't you just make the map
It's not.
smaller? I think the map is too big. And now you've cut out. Now we were having a hot debate, and Craig, our recording bear friend, has just said, "I'm." Craig has had enough of this. Craig wants nothing to do with this argument, and it seems like Craig is just shutting it down. There is no winner. Craig is just Craiging it out. I apologize for this, people. Rob, just start talking, and then like when you come up to normal, then we'll keep going. I can hear you a little bit, but you're like scratchy.
It's the
But
fucking yeah.
okay,
Because
now
my
you're back. Now
all
you're
right.
back. But
So
as you were saying,
yeah, like you're not. It's not in the world. Like they don't put it so you have to use it. They put it to make it easier to explore the world.
no, I know that, but I just think that they're making the worlds way too big just for the sake of making a big
Well,
world
the
now.
majority of people are demanding bigger worlds. That's the thing. Like
Oh,
you don't have to like
why?
because they want more things to explore and more time, like more time to put into a game and stuff like that.
I just think it's unnecessary.
I don't think it's I think it's fine. Like I actually enjoy large open world games. Actually,
I
and that's
don't.
pretty much
I
exclusively what I play now is
I
open
like
world
some.
games.
I like some large open world games. I like open world. Well, okay, I like open world games, but I like them when the world is big enough to a point.
That's fine.
After a while, to me, the world starts to jump the shark after a while, where it's just you've now made the world way too big for no reason.
Well, I
Couldn't
think
you
there
have
are
done the same? Couldn't you have done the same with a world three-quarters this size instead of the full size? Like it doesn't have to be like I should if the world map if the world that you're in, if I'm playing, I don't know, if I'm playing a game where I'm in, I don't know, I'm in Boise, Idaho. I shouldn't feel like I am walking from point A of Boise, Idaho to cover the rest of Idaho in the same amount of time it would take me to walk it in real life from tip to tip. It's too big of a world. There's no need for it to be there. Just make Idaho be like a blip. Maybe make Idaho take about like five to maybe 10 minutes to drive through.
yeah, but then people aren't going to want to. They're going to say it's too small. That's the problem.
Well, now you
And
have
if you
that
have,
problem because they created that problem. Now a world has to be big, and it
well,
has to be like X times larger than the last game
they're not going to go
because otherwise
backwards.
it'll
That's
be
the
too
thing.
small. Well, no, now they can't. They've
Well, they
created
wouldn't anyway. It's
this
like
is the shit they're in.
it's the natural progression of you know as the technology gets better, they're going to want to make bigger and better and more realistic worlds, and that's what they're doing, and that's why they do it.
I
And
understand that, but too much is too much,
well, I mean, it's really like
in my
most AAA
opinion.
games. It's fairly easy to traverse like even large worlds. You should play if you play a game like more of a simulation game like Arma 3, for instance, where the map is 50 kilometers by 50 kilometers, and it's real kilometers. It's not like video game kilometers where like Yeah, okay, GTA 5 is a huge world, but you could still drive from one end to the other in probably about 15 to 20 minutes, right? In in
Yeah, I like
in
that.
Arma 3, it's literally like real kilometers. So if you were gonna walk
Oh my god.
50 kilometers, it would take you hours and hours and hours of real time to do it.
That's too much.
But that's people like it. It's like a simulation game at that point. It's an Arma 3 is specifically it's a simulation, so it's supposed to be as real.
I mean, it's one thing if it is specifically a simulation, then like I know what I'm paying for and I know that it's there. If it's an open world game, I understand that the world is going to be large and I understand it's going to be a big map, but for God's sakes, the map does not need to be to scale of actual planet Earth. And you're gone again. Craig is not happy with this conversation. Craig is
Craig,
trying. Craig is
Craig,
trying to Craig as hard as Craig can.
um,
I Craig is making you sound like a robot. Craig is not pleased. Craig might be manipulating my voice too. He is an AI, by the way. Craig is a bot that you can record
not,
with Discord.
it's fucking.
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, my point is that Kingdom Hearts 3 jumped the shark on making a world too big for the sake of being big and too long of a world for the game that it is.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think it needs to be a giant open world because it never was.
No, it wasn't.
So I think that's part of the problem. It's doesn't need to be. There are certain games where it's like build as an open world, and so you're expecting that. It doesn't, and that's Kingdom should not be one of those.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, I mean, I think King. Now, I know I've been like trashing Kingdom Hearts a lot this podcast, and we both have been, but it comes from a place of love. Believe it or not, I love Kingdom Hearts. I love the games, except for 3. Well, I love the first 2. Let me say that. I love the first 2. I love everything about them. The first game is one that I will always hold near and dear to my heart. 3, I have no idea what happened. 2, also a very good game. I can overlook some of the plot confusion because it is a very good game. 3 is just unforgivable. And now we'll be getting 4, so maybe I would like to know if like the creative control was switched over for Kingdom Hearts 3 and some of the original people were not involved in the development of the third one. That would make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's possible.
Also, by the way, we forgot to mention this in the chronologically confused thing, but the game order is not the order that things happen in. So the real Kingdom Hearts chronology is, if wait for it, Kingdom Hearts X is the first game in the series. That's right. You would think that it's 10. No. Kingdom Hearts X is the first game. Then there is Birth by Sleep, which sounds like a really crappy nu metal band. Then there's a Fragmentary Passage, which sounds like the name of that band's album. Then there's Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 1 is the fourth game in the chronological order.
Yeah.
Then it's Chain of Memories. Then it's 358/2, which is supposed to be 358 days divided by two characters. Right? The 2 is the 2 characters because it's supposed to be Sora and Roxas is nobody because they're part of the same. How is anyone supposed to know that? Kingdom Hearts 358/2 days, by the way, sounds like the name of that band's tour. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. The 7th game is Kingdom Hearts 2. Then there's Coded. It's just called Coded, which is the name of the band's second album. Then there's Dream Drop Distance, which is the hit single off of that album, Coded. Then there is Kingdom Hearts 3. That's right. The third game is the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. The 10th game in the franchise is not Kingdom Hearts X. That's the first game. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the 10th game in the Kingdom Hearts chronology. Then there's Melody of Memory, which I guess is another song off that album. And then it's Kingdom Hearts 4, which I guess we'll see you in 2040 when that comes out. When half of the cast is dead. I don't know. It's at least they got Bill Farmer to be Goofy. I have nothing else to say. What happened to this? Why did they make so many damn games?
It's a good question. Well, I mean, the money.
I guess. Oh
It's
no.
a popular series.
I'm trying to read like the early synopsis of 4, and it's just the 15th installment in the series. Jesus Christ, beginning the Lost Master story arc. I don't even know what the story arcs are supposed to be. I didn't know there were multiple named story arcs in these games. Set after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, returning protagonist Sora has become trapped in the lifelike world of Quadratum. Okay. I'm sure there won't be a recap of this. While his companions Donald Duck and Goofy try to find and rescue him. Okay, so more of the same. Glad to know that after 15 years after 20 years, you couldn't come up with anything new.
Oh, so Sora's going to the real world, basically. Is that what it is?
Yes. God damn it.
And he has an apartment which serves as the player's home base.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Who wants this?
A lot of people. And actually,
really?
Your opinion of Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually not shared by many. It actually did very well.
I know it did well. I'm sure a lot of people liked it. I guess I don't know. Maybe I've just got crotchety and old, and I've aged out of the franchise. I don't know.
Metacritic 83 out of 100. Destructoid 8 out of 10. Electronic Gaming Monthly 7.5 out of 10. Game Informer 9.5 out of 10.
Jesus.
I mean,
the game.
5.
No, not for nothing. The gameplay is good. I will give credit where credit is due. The gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 3 is solid. It's the story is just terrible.
The worst review,
and the acting is terrible.
RPG Gamer, which I've never actually heard of, RP Gamer, which gave it 3.5 out of 5.
I mean, I didn't say it was a terrible game to play. It is just a terrible game to sit through. Like like the actual gameplay is fine. But the level design is uninspired, and the storyline is just atrocious, and the acting is just unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I've aged out of the franchise. I don't know. I'm in my 30s. Yeah. Like, I grew up with the franchise, kind of. Yeah. But, like, maybe I've aged out of it, but I would have to play the first two. And if I really love them still, then it can't be me aging out of the franchise. I just dislike the game. Yeah. I just dislike Kingdom Hearts 3. But I'm glad people liked it. I didn't doubt that it would get great reviews.
Yeah. I think it's
I'm not a fan of the third one, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like hate listening to this, which is great for the algorithm, by the way. So thank you.
I think a lot of it, it's a different.
I'm sure we'll become top heels in the gaming industry with this podcast.
It's also kind of a stale. I don't want to say stale. I don't know. It's an outdated concept. The kind of like action slash thing. See a lot anymore because want like more depth. So like there's a few games that kind of like our action adventure kind of games.
You're breaking up.
Like that.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Craig is jostling with the controls. He's enjoying some honey with Winnie the Pooh, who is also in the game. You go to the 100 Acre Woods for reasons we're not really sure. Um, uh, nope. You are still Craig is still manipulating with the soundboard. But yes, there are all kinds of shenanigans going on with this.
All right. Well, my internet is taking a shit right now, so we just wrap it up.
Well, I guess we will. But yeah, there are. I think the game. I think there is a repetitiveness to everything that I think has just gotten like kind of stale. The plot point of the story is just we have to go rescue. We have to find people and stop and that like. I think you could come up with other things after all these years, but that said, we will have to see what happens with Kingdom Hearts 4, which may come out during our lifetimes. We'll have to see. Overall, Kingdom Hearts is a wonderful franchise. It is a strange idea of merging Final Fantasy and Disney that no one would have ever thought of until they did, and no one really knew that they wanted it until they got it, and it was a match made in heaven. It's almost like someone trying lamb and tuna fish and enjoying the crap out of it. They
Lamb
just
and tuna fish.
Yes, they went together like lamb and tuna fish, and
Yep.
everyone loved it. Um, my wife Masha, she loved it the most. But Kingdom Hearts, wonderful, very like wonderful franchise. Not enough good things can be said about it. I love the first two. It does have its flaws with the too many games, a very strange chronology, and a very convoluted storyline. But it is a very successful and very cool franchise. If you
Yeah.
have not played the games, well, you should really just play the first two. And if you want to play three, you see what we're talking about, then that's up to you. If you want to play every single game, it's going to be a while. It's going to take you some time to not only play the games, but to track them down. And it might cost you quite a bit to pick up some of them in the old consoles that they're for. But if you're feeling froggy, my friend, go right ahead. This is Why Does This Exist? Thank you all for listening to the show, by the way. And if you gave us money, great. If you interacted with any algorithm, wonderful. And if you didn't, well, fuck you. This is Why Does This Exist? I have been Chris.
And I've been Rob.
And remember, question everything.
Good night, everybody.
Sure, now your voice is crystal clear.
Of
This
course.
is all Craig. All Craig.
No, it's not Craig. It's the fucking. I'm gonna go on a rant really quick and say how shitty Optimum is, and I hope they fucking go down in a Ponzi scheme.
Yes, Optimum Online. They suck.
Optimum sucks nuts. The end.